Flowers. Are you happy to be here on a Saturday afternoon at eCommerce Brazil 2012? Are you? Yes! I'm very excited to be here for the second time, and today I'm going to take you on a journey into the human brain. I will reveal you 3 secrets how to influence any person in the world, how to manage attention and make any human do anything for you so that you're effective in e-commerce. Are you ready to learn? Great. We all come in from different backgrounds: design, user experience, business, IT, or some of us have e-stores and we are just trying to win it and see what happens. But ultimately, all we are doing is one thing. We're trying to drive attention. Why is that? Attention is mental money. If you got someone's attention, you can do anything with it. Attention is a secret ingredient that drives any human action. Think about it. So all you need to do, you need to learn how to become more attentive and how to improve your attention. And there are 2 ways how you can do that. One of them is meditation, and another one is hypnosis. Oh yes, meditation and hypnosis. You must be wondering, Yulia, what is that? How can I use it in e-commerce? Well, I cannot use it either, but don't you worry, I have more tricks. How many of you, on a show of hands, have seen the show of David Copperfield? Can I see? Plenty. What if I tell you that people like David Copperfield are true masters of managing attention? They're the people who take your attention willingly from you and bring it where they want it to go, and a lot of things is changing in the background and you don't notice that, and boom, there is magic. Imagine how excited you were, how mesmerized you were. Well, my dear Sao Paulo friends, the same happens with online shopping. When people are shopping on your site, they might be tasked with a specific idea or they're looking for something, and they might not notice all other things happening around it. And so that's why maybe you don't get anything happening on your A/B testing, or you have specific error messages you cannot make sense of. And so there are still 3 ways how you can manage attention. Oops. The first one is controlling the stage experience, and this is about becoming David Copperfield. And I will tell you in detail why is it important, why it works, and what needs to be done. The second one is sprinkling dopamine into the site experience. Some of you might have heard about that chemical before and experienced it before, and I will tell you why it is important too. And then we are going to pump up oxytocin into the shopping experience and get some love to your site. So, starting with the first one, becoming a magician, becoming David Copperfield. It is important to take your shopper's attention where you want it to go. Why is that? Attention is a limited resource. We all think that we are paying attention to the world around us, but it is a delusion. Because we can only focus on one thing at a time. We switch back and forth. We think we multitask, but we don't. And so what you need to do, you need to help your customers to do that. David Rock, in his book, Your Brain at Work, has a great metaphor about the decision-making process in the human brain. When we are trying to come up with a decision, or when we are shopping, our mind, the smaller part of our mind, is like a producer. And it has a stage that it looks at, where the actors is the new information, or all that shopping information they're looking at. And the audience is their prior experience or their thoughts. And so if they have too many actors on that stage, the play won't start. Or if they had a different shopping experience that are so used to and conditioned, the audience will be jumping on the stage and the play won't start either. And it's also very important to understand that it is a limited resource, it takes a lot of energy in our brain, it is of a small size too. It is not of the size of Teatro Municipale, it is more of the size of a child's bedroom. So now you know why it is important. You see, the brain has a limitation on how much information it can digest. And so you have to step into the shoes of David Copperfield and start simplifying, reducing functionality for your customers when they're doing one specific task. Here I have an example of fab.com when it comes to the login experience. Pretty simple. All you need to do is add your email and further add your password. At any point during this time, you cannot go and browse and see their inventory. It's a private sales site in the US. But then you see a little bit of magic showing up. You see a little bit of preview, but you cannot do anything. Your functionality is reduced, but you're focused and you're doing it. The same happens in non-e-commerce experience. I have a good example from Dan Lockton from the usability. People who do usability design know this person. There is where you can limit and guide implicitly. Here is garbage and recycling bins, and they all have specific entrance. You really cannot shove a bottle into the place where the paper goes. And you really know what needs to be done. So in this case, again, by design, you can guide implicitly your customers to do what you want them to do. Or you also can think about it on a more global and bigger scale. You want to see what you can automate for your customers, what you can autofill for them, what work you can do for them. Here we have soap.com, and they have 6 sister sites. And all you need to do is create your account once. You have one shopping cart on all 6 sites. Easy like a Saturday morning, like today. So, and you also need to do the work for them. Let me find, can you back up one slide? You also need to do the work for them. This is another important point. You do the addition of those actors for your mind, for your customers, for the producers. You curate the content, the product, and you will see that most of the time, hand-picked products convert faster and they bring more revenue. Try to look into the data and see. And that's because you're doing the work for them. It's so nice when somebody already picked something, made decisions, compared. All you need to do is continue to the next act of the play. So now you see how important it is to step into the shoes of David Copperfield and be a magician, simplify and guide your customers implicitly, and do the work for them. Beautiful, but that's not enough. You know that attention is very hard to keep, especially if it's not your own. Are you still paying attention to me or to your thoughts? So this is why the second strategy comes into play. You need to sprinkle some dopamine into the site experience. Dopamine, what is that? For those who don't know, it's an organic chemical that we produce in our brain when we're exposed to novelty and excitement. And what it does, it spurs our muscles into action, our thoughts into action. It refocuses the attention. This is what happens to a mouse when you inject a lot of dopamine into that. You see how tense it is? You see how scared it is? It wants to jump? It's almost paranoid. But we're not going to do that to our customers. We need to inject the right level of dopamine into the experience so that they're more focused, not paranoid. And how to do that? One of the examples, bringing some unique products into the experience, feature them. Here you see dancing shoes, but they're not usual dancing shoes. Those are the dancing shoes not for salsa, not for tango, but for teaching your daughter how to dance. How fun is that? If you have products like that, why not feature them and trigger the curiosity level of your customers, trigger that dopamine level? Or, like with babies, the theme of the keynote today, you also can find products that are purely adorable and very hilarious too. And here I have the actual, the real example from Etsy.com, chicken poncho. I mean, does a chicken need a poncho? But it actually does, and if you read further, this was one of the top selling items and the most visited page on Etsy.com. Now, of course, Etsy.com can afford it because they have a lot of unique products. But if you think creatively about your site and can feature that interesting content that brings people back, that makes them want to check out your site again for fun stuff like that, they will be interacting more with it. They have a reason. Or you might have hilarious, hysterical reviews. Amazon.com, our rival, actually has a lot of funny reviews, especially the UK site. When I was reading them, I was laying on the floor, and unfortunately, some of them I cannot show, but they were hysterical. I dare you to check it out. So why not showcase those humorous reviews not only on the April's Fool Day, but at some other point. People love those reviews. They share, and then they come back to your site and they shop. Or, another example, you can also adopt what Gymvara people do. They leverage their customers, and once in a while they showcase the top pinned item that site merchandisers wouldn't even think would be popular, like this band. And the customers who are interacting with that are rewarded with dopamine into their blood when they go and check it out on the homepage. They're excited to do more of it. They're excited to be engaged. So, now you see how important it is to sprinkle dopamine into the site experience, because that novelty, surprise, and humor activate it, and it refocuses attention. And most of the time, it also feels like a reward. And what's the most important, it's also very addictive. Now, I just jump into the oxytocin part, which is also very important, because you need to have a reason for people to come back. And I'm not saying we need to put a bunch of pictures of kissing people on your site. What I'm saying is that think about this question. What brings people back to any experience? Other people. People go to a foreign country to give a speech and go back because of other people. We all are social beings. We need the connection, and that's where oxytocin comes into play. How many of you have heard of the Maslow Hierarchy? Plenty of you. Remember when he was describing it, in the very bottom he has safety, trust, food, food, and those are very important items. A person cannot survive without them. And the social piece was somewhere at the top. What if I tell you he was wrong? Social is more important and fundamental for survival than you think. This is why imprisonment is still the hardest punishment for any human being. And this is why people live for ages, whether they drink or smoke or have a very healthy lifestyle. They only live so long because they have social ties. Another aspect is that we are not thinking about shopping all the time. Most of our human time, 80% of our time during the day, we are spending with people we love, friends, co-workers. It's a very small circle, like a village. And of course, we're making other decisions during the day, but the shopping part also comes into play. And so it is very important to have oxytocin power. Now, oxytocin, for those of you that don't know it, is a, can you go back a little bit? I'm opening up all my cards today. Can you go back to the definition of oxytocin? Yes. So oxytocin is an organic chemical that triggers this bonding attachment, also known as a love hormone. And to do so, as you already previewed, you need to humanize your site. I have a great example from last weekend. I was anonymously shopping at Zappos, and then I abandoned their cart. And in the morning, I was checking my inbox, and I see a bunch of email from other online retailers, including Victoria's Secret and Overstock, but nothing piqued my attention but the title from Zappos. Your shopping cart is needy. Oh, so human. It sounds human. I couldn't help but react. So I clicked further, and I was compelled to read the copy. If you read the copy, it says, "Don't you hate it? Your shopping cart won't stop bugging us. Could you just click on this button? We beg of you." All of a sudden, this shopping cart became human to me. And of course, I would relate to it and even maybe buy at some point. Another way to do it, to humanize the experience, is to bring in people's stories. We love stories about other people and their experiences, and Buy.com has it as a strategy to differentiate themselves. They say you're buying from people, not from the internet, and there is a lot of science behind it. People do care about other people. Or you can stumble on it. The small site, Tea Collection, they cannot afford a reviews platform like Bazaarworks or any others, and so they just install the Facebook plugin, and by doing so, they have reviews on some of the products. But the difference is that in the design, how the Facebook feed looks, or maybe it is Twitter, it would look the same or similar. And I can actually see what people are saying also within other contexts. It's not just about the product. And I see the empathy. I can relate to that. It's more human than just a review of a product. So now you see how important it is to pump oxytocin into the shopping experience. Integrating social and making your site human activates it. Oxytocin also drives repeat visits. Many of you know what I mean by that. And repeat visits also reinforce focused attention, now or later. Maybe I will not buy right now, but I will definitely come back, because now I have more reasons and more experience of coming back to your site, more links to it in my brain. And eventually what you want to do is that customer that's socially wired can also convert or bring entire village of their friends and family. Try to look into your data and see what is the conversion rate for your customers that are also socially active within your site, and you will be very much amazed. So, the 3 ways to manage attention that now you know are controlling the stage experience like David Copperfield, sprinkling dopamine, novelty, and fun into the site experience, and pumping oxytocin into the shopping experience. All you need to do is make it easy for your customers to shop, surprise them once in a while, and very important, remain human. So, my dear Sao Paulo friends, by now, you actually possess a very important secret. You probably realize that attention is more than mental money. Attention is power. Because attention drives intention, and focused attention drives action, and repeat focused attention drives retention. This is all you need to know to leverage and bring better site experience and drive conversion for any site at any level of sophistication. This is also universal for any human being. You can apply it anywhere. So my dear Sao Paulo friends, now that you have all this power, I beg of you,